Going everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm very excited for this one. We're talking about my guy Khalil Ware, and I did a video on him before the draft. I was really high on him. I love this fit, and he's playing awesome for the Heat right now. So we're gonna break down this game he had against the Spurs. Like, subscribe, comments, all would be super appreciated. Hit the bell if you haven't already for more content. Going to be posting more in the new year. And Khalil Ware was always an incredible interior scorer, and we're seeing him be pretty effective as a lob threat already. Nikola Jovic, one of his best kind of partners already, pick and roll passing, kind of 6'8", 6'9" forward. The Heat don't have many incredible passers on their team. They have a lot of solid passers, like Hero can move the ball, Bam for his position, Jimmy can pass too, but Ware is settled in really nicely into just like the basic dribble handoff flow stuff that, of course, Bam Adebayo has done in Miami for so long. And, of course, part of the ceiling bet for Ware is going to be the three-point shot. Can he space the floor? I believe in the shot. His willingness to take it has been good so far. And, of course, his touch around the rim and like mid-range intermediate scoring is great. And Khalil's rebounding is fantastic. People had questions about his motor and intensity and effort, and at least on the offensive end, I don't think that's been a huge issue so far. His Ware just so explosive, so long, and again, the great touch to finish. But if not, he's always going to draw fouls and make plays like that. Another great play with Ware skying over Charles Bassey. Look how high up he gets. He catches this ball well above the rim. That's crazy. He is an unbelievable athlete at a legit 7-footer with the touch and the skill and all the stuff that we've talked about. And that was, man, he had some welcome to the league moments against Victor Wembanyama in this one. I'll say that. Very hard guy to finish over. But again, want to highlight like not the best pass in the world by Hero, who's a pretty good passer, and of course it's Victor Wembanyama, but you kind of have to put it there, I guess. But still, point being, the Heat don't have a ton of like amazing passers to feed Khalil Ware the ball all the time, which I do think is somewhat relevant for evaluating the context of his general situation and play. But even in spite of that, he's played well, and this is really the first play to me that's like aha, because my whole thing of them drafting Khalil Ware, which made me so optimistic, was the fit with Bam Adebayo. Bam is not a shooter. It has not gone well this season with him shooting. Khalil Ware theoretically can space the floor. So Wemby's going to sink down to cover Bam, and that's just going to leave Khalil Ware wide open. This pairing is going to be so good if Ware shoots, and we'll talk about defense in a bit, but Khalil on the defensive end with Bam, assuming Bam can continue to play well, is going to be really frightening overall. Another tip dunk for Ware, just a lot of basic. He's been killing it as a finisher at the rim, amazing on dunks, amazing on layups, and we're going to see him kind of try to finish over Wemby here in transition and isn't able to do it there. Wemby gave Khalil a lot of problems. Like I said, great test for him going up against the best defender in the NBA, of course. This is a much better play here against, lowly Harrison Barnes, but he still has to use his left for a pretty tough finish. Like, finishes with his inside left hand kind of over and through Harrison Barnes' hand. That's not an easy finish by any means, like I'm going to say. But Khalil's playmaking has been pretty interesting to start the year. He's never been an incredible passer or floor processor, but this is just simple stuff. Hero passes over top in the short roll. Ware's going to catch the ball. Castle's going to come down, and he has to make a quick decision. He sees that the help, Chris Paul and Devin Vassell, they aren't digging super intently, so he can just pass it down to Bam, who floats it right over Wembanyama. It would be great to see Bam get back to making the floaters at a more usual clip for him. Khalil has been incredible at these hook shots. I think he's shooting above like 50, almost 50% in the short mid-range, so from like 4 to 10 feet, paint outside the restricted area. He has been on fire from that area, and yes, even over Victor Wembanyama at times. Rare for a guy with his size and touch to be able to move like he does, and this is a really nice example of what happens when you do have nice passers. As the Heat do a good job here screening with Nikola Jovic, they want to switch this ball screen because they're similarly sized, right? But Jovic can slip into space. Wemby steps up. Ware is a great lob threat, and Jovic processes the floor well and gets it to Khalil Ware. So that's a nice little two-man game, a nice synergy that I'm watching develop between Khalil Ware and Nikola Jokic. One more offensive rebounds over Victor Wembanyama for the road. Yeah, I mean, he can sky up with the best of them, athletic and physical tools wise. You know, he's obviously not Victor Wembanyama, but he can really play and he can really sky above the rim and grab rebounds and all that stuff. We're gonna watch his defense now, which I think was probably more of a mixed bag than the offense. He's pretty jumpy, as a lot of young players are, just kind of biting at a bunch of fakes and not staying down when he definitely should stay down. But Khalil's shot blocking flashes, and the defense, I believe, I'm pretty sure the defense is better when he plays. I think his overall on-off numbers are really good, but gets the block there in transition, just pins Keldon Johnson off of the window. Yeah, I do believe his on-off numbers are really good. And obviously, he hasn't played a ton of minutes, and those are noisy. And this is the kind of thing that we're really talking about on defense. You have Bam and Khalil Ware out there together. Of course, Bam, you don't always want Bam, like, guarding pick and rolls. He doesn't do a great job getting to the screen. And Khalil has a good contest, but Devin Vassell just banks on that shot. But we didn't see it a ton in this game. But the defensive potential between those two, I think, is really frightening. And, of course, he's going to make a lot of, kind of not great errors jumping at Victor Wembanyama's pump fake. And it makes sense. Wemby is a great shooter, but instead of trying to close out and change directions, which Khalil might not just be able to do with his lack of mobility as a 7-footer, that's, of course, going to be a thing. And he had a lot of possessions against Victor Wembanyama. A lot of them did not go so well. He fouls quite a bit at this stage, which is common for 20-year-old bigs. Just bringing his arms down, trying to swipe the ball away from Victor Wembanyama because he knows he can't really go straight up with him. Very few players can. And again, I just want to reiterate how tough of a matchup this is for Khalil Ware for the majority of the game. And this is a nice example of Khalil is going to learn where to position himself and drop. He should probably be a little bit higher up against a dynamic mid-range shooter like Devin Vassell, but he's also not getting help from his point of attack defense here. Jimmy has really struggled to get around screens this year. He gets flattened by Zach Collins, which makes Khalil Ware's life even harder. So always important to keep that defensive context in mind when we're evaluating players on that end. Oh, that's a beautiful play by Khalil Ware. This is the ceiling you can see as a pick and roll defender. He drops back here a little bit. It's he's already in the paint, but he still is dropping back, explodes off of his 2 feet, blocks Keldon Johnson. And like I said, Keldon Johnson's not a particularly good NBA player, but still, he's doing good stuff. And this Spurs matchup really does present particular challenges, but Ware does a really nice job contesting that little one-leg fadeaway from Wemby. That's as much of a contest as you can really ask for against Victor Wembanyama, honestly. The Spurs are doing cruel things like making Miami's 7-foot center run through double screens to get Wembanyama the ball on a handoff. This is not something he's going to have to do in the majority of matchups, but there are teams like Wemby, of course. The Wolves will do this with Naz Reid and such. The Knicks with Towns, who will send their centers off of screens. So it is something worth it. I hate to end the video the way that we're ending the video with this welcome to the NBA moment. In the fourth quarter, Victor Wembanyama, I don't know, man. What are you supposed to do? He's dunking on 3 people. But this was an excellent performance for Khalil Ware. Like I said, 25 points, fairly efficient. His second 25-point game of the year. The other one coming against Indiana, I believe, my Pacers. But I'm really excited to see Khalil flourish, especially in this barren rookie class, right, where there's just not a lot of exciting players, at least to me. Khalil has that real upside of a two-way center, not just as a floor spacer, but as a dominant interior scorer that he's already showing that he can be with, I think, really impressive defensive upside. I think it's possible that Khalil ends up being one of the best players from this class, especially because he landed in such a good situation. Miami's obviously known for their player development, even though things are kind of weird there, especially with Jimmy. It should be a good spot for him to hone his processing and just positioning and all the little things that being an NBA big requires, and hopefully Bam should be able to help him with that as well. But let me know what you think of Khalil, and let me know what you think of this video. I hope you have a great day or night or whenever you watch this.